in SolidWorks, we've got our machine clamp. And so we're going to be doing the same kind of thing as in Fusion. Making a file for each part. So the sides, just draw one. When we get to doing the assembly, we'll make the other one automatically, just like in Fusion, right? For those two parts that have the 7mm hex, make one part. So we're gonna go in here, do a new part. So I'm gonna extrude this part there, do a polygon. Look, they've got a nice tool right here. Pick that center point, to go out. If I grab corners, you can see it rotates, so I should probably click on that top line and make it horizontal. And then dimension. How do I change my units? Yeah, right here. But if I do that, it's going to kick me out of my sketch, so I don't want to do that right now. I'll change it later. I'm going to finish, and I'm going to tell it to be mid-plane, and 12.5 millimeters, right? Say OK. And I'll extrude, click there, draw a circle, mention that to be, I think it was 6.9 millimeters. 7.9 is that one? Finish and extrude it 5 millimeters. So you can see even without, and I don't want it mid-plane, I want it line. So even without changing the units, I can still tell it to be millimeters. But now I might as well change it to metric. Now I'm done drawing it. Then I'll go to mirror, like before, right? The mirror face. So my plane isn't here, but if I go here, you can see that it kind of expands my history there. And now I can pick the plane that's going down the middle of the part. It can ask me for a secondary mirror plane, because you can kind of mirror across two different things if you want. I've never actually used that option. And now it asks me what I want to mirror. So I want to pick features to mirror, pick that feature there, say OK. And there's my thing. I'm going to go into my hole wizard. Yeah.
I thought you said
In Fusion. So in SolidWorks, we're not just going to copy the component. We don't have to like move the body of the component. We're just going to copy this whole file and make a change to the file after we're done with it. So I'm going to go in here, screw clearance for ANSI metric, screw clearance. Oh, that was for whatever it was. Oh, it was just a standard size, but we are going to make that for 3/8, so I'm just going to tell it to be clearance for 3/8. Since that's what I'm putting through it anyway, making my own version. Go to positions, pick on the face I want to draw on. Oh, look. My origin is right there at the center of my part. Because remember, I started my sketch on the center of the part, drew it out, extruded mid-plane, so my origin is still right there. So I can just snap right to there. I don't have to do anything centered on the face. Go back to type and say OK. And there's my hole. So now I save my part. And I probably should have made my folder. So new folder. You do want to make sure it's named correctly. Once you start putting things together, you can't change the names of files, because it's going to reference this file in this new file for the assembly. And if you change the name of that file, then it's going to be like, hey, I can't find that. So then you have to reassociate and everything. So try and like figure out what you want to call things before you start saving things, or at least before you start making your assembly. Because once you make your assembly and start putting stuff into that, now it's locked down. Same thing when you make a drawing. The drawing calls from the part files. So if you change the name of a part later on in a project, you have to go back and relink it everywhere, and it can be a pain. So I'm gonna just call this. Is that a good description of what this part is? Not really. I'm gonna call this slide hex. That's what I'm gonna call it. This is the slide hex. This is the hex that slides along through. So I'm gonna save that. And I'm gonna close this file. Done. It's closed. Now I'm gonna go back to here. So in my computer, or this PC, or whatever they call it now, Windows Explorer is the old name. I'm gonna go find that file, and then I'm just gonna make a copy of it. So I just held Control and dragged it, or I get Control C, Control V, however you want, and it makes a copy. Now I'm gonna rename this to be bar hex. So that's the hex that holds the bar, right? Now I'm just gonna drag that into SolidWorks to open it. So we'll click on the hole, or here, edit feature, and change that to be a threaded hole, metric, M4, not through all, it's gonna be blind, and it's gonna go whatever it was. Say okay, and there's my hole. Where's my copy? So I want that middle option there. So it actually shows using my thread. So that little hidden line, that's your thread. It doesn't, for as much as it likes to be shiny and stuff, for threads it doesn't show you the threaded view, it shows you that. Don't worry about it. It works. When I make the drawing, eventually it'll have the thread. So I can save that, and now when I look at my files, I have the bar hex and I have the slide hex. So make one part, copy it, then make your changes to it. Okay? Does that make sense? All right.